I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still talks about a bill that would make it easier for Wisconsin to attract classified research. And Jim Morgan, president of the WMC Foundation, talks about the goals of the Future Wisconsin Project. And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report for mid-February. Rising, Wisconsin startups. There's been a flurry of activity of late for emerging state businesses. Somna Therapeutics in Milwaukee announced a $700,000 investment round. Magna Flooring in River Falls raised $2 million. Bodybuilding.com is adding 80 jobs in New Berlin in space shared with BuySeasons.com. And nearly 300 young companies have entered the 2014 Governor's Business Plan contest. Also, the Wisconsin Tech Summit has been set for April 7th to connect young companies with major firms. And falling, Wisconsin's paper mills and printing press operators. One of the state's biggest industries suffered a setback when a U.S. Senate committee voted to make permanent a temporary 4.3% increase in postal rates. The recent increase was meant as a 2-year reprieve to help the U.S. Postal Service, which has been losing tens of billions of dollars. Postage increases could hurt Wisconsin's print economy by making it more expensive for publishers and advertisers to distribute printed material. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
The legislature has a chance to improve Wisconsin's standing as a cybersecurity research center with Assembly Bill 729, which would make it easier for the University of Wisconsin system to attract classified federal grants and contracts. The bill, authored by Republican Mike Kuglich of New Berlin and Democrat Rob Call of Monona, was the subject of a public hearing in the legislature this month. It should be passed before lawmakers adjourn this spring. Why is the bill important? Because cybersecurity itself is a pressing national issue. In the bad old days of the Cold War, people worried about missile silos in the Soviet Union. In the emerging world of cyber warfare, the biggest threats may come from nests of sophisticated computer hackers in Shanghai, Tehran, or Damascus. Enhancing cybersecurity is a national priority that touches just about everyone in our digital age. The risk can range from breaches of department store credit card data to attacks on America's lifelines, including its energy grid, its water supply, its healthcare institutions, and its financial institutions. The bill allows qualified UW researchers to better engage on a pressing national security issue, one so large that President Obama and Congress have managed to find common ground. That doesn't happen every day, as we all know. At present, it's tough for UW researchers to do classified work in Wisconsin, which means the university misses opportunities for grants and contracts that now fly over the state. The bill would help the state attract research in one of the few federal R&D categories that is still rising. It expands the UW's ability to partner with private companies, and it provides high-tech jobs and training opportunities. The UW system has the talent to compete for cybersecurity and other classified work. All it needs now is a clear set of rules, and Assembly Bill 729 will do precisely that.
Thanks, Tom. I'll be right back with Jim Morgan, president of the WMC Foundation.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
I'm back with Jim Morgan, president of the WMC Foundation, which is affiliated with Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Liz.
Most people know WMC as the state's largest business group. But what is the WMC Foundation and what are its goals?
Well, I think whereas the association focuses primarily on public policy and is usually in 2-year cycles, the goal of the foundation is really to take a longer-term approach to what do we need to do in Wisconsin. And so the things that we work on in the foundation is we have a lot of economics education programs for high school students. We do a lot of workplace safety to make sure that the employers in this state have safety as one of their top priorities. We work with all the local chambers of commerce to try and build stronger communities as we go forward. And the workforce development issue is probably taking up more time of the foundation than anything else right now because that's the #1 issue for most of our employers.
The Future Wisconsin Project also involves the UW system, the Tech College system, and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Why are they coming together around the Future Wisconsin Project?
Well, I think everybody understands that we do need a long-term strategic plan for this state. And let me just give you one example of what we're going to be working on, which I think will answer the question as to why the UW and the Tech College system and WEDC are involved as well. We're trying to look at long-term things like global engagement, talent attraction, business competitiveness, entrepreneurial spirit, things like that. And so if you take that talent development and attraction and retention, we know in Wisconsin right now that 30 years from now we expect to have about 800,000 more people in this state. And people might think that's good because now we're going to have enough people for the workforce. But the reality is of that 800,000 people, about 95% of them will be over the age of 65. So we've got a serious demographic issue coming at us that if we don't start working on it right now, we're going to be in trouble. And the UW and the technical college system understand that. At the same time, we're seeing about 15,000 additional people coming to Wisconsin in that age group of 18 to 65, the workforce, if you will. And the expectation is we'll have about 300,000 additional jobs over the next 20 years. So we've got 15,000 people and 300,000 jobs. The math isn't going to work out real well for us. So we're trying to take that long-term approach to say, well, how do you fix that? How do we look at Milwaukee perhaps and make it as attractive as Denver or Minneapolis? Do we look at immigration? Do we figure out how to get people to stay here? Do we figure out how to get people to come here? And if we don't start looking at those things now, we're going to be sitting here 20 years from now and be a little concerned with what's happening in the Badger State.
And how do people get involved in the coming months?
We're going to, over the course of the next 9 months leading up to a big forum in December, engage people around the state. We're going to the 16 technical colleges. We're going to be enlisting advisors in each one of those areas that I listed earlier. So for example, again, in talent, we might be looking at some human resources managers, companies like QPS and QTI and Manpower, the tech colleges, the UW, and so there'll be opportunities there. And then we're hoping to have some preliminary listening sessions, if you will, leading up to the forum in December. And then in December, we're going to have what we're going to call some Wisconversations, and bring in some people that we think can look 20 years out and share sort of what their views are, and then use the general public of Wisconsin to help us formulate where we go from here.
Thanks, Jim, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent But Executive Search. See you next time.